indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Who we thank you, like really thank you, for joining me here again. Another day, another moment for us to talk about the meaning crisis. The big sad and the meaning crisis. The big sad as a result of the meaning crisis. I wanted to say the meaning crisis because of the big sad, but no, I don't think so. I think it's more the big sad because of the meaning crisis than the meaning crisis because of the big sad. You know, the age we're heading into, meaning is gonna be what you make of it. You know, like we have assigned ourselves meaning based on the jobs we work, based on the amount of money we have, based on the level of power, the level of status, the level of that stuff is, we realize at least, that stuff is no longer what gives us meaning. So we're gonna be talking about the meaning crisis. It's gonna be adventurous, I believe. Yeah, but you, it's nice to have you, dude. So much love to you. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna get myself some water. I'm gonna get myself Hermes Blur. I'm gonna get myself a book of things worth saying. Gonna tell Dan I love him to absolute smithereens. You know, love, 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 love. Like standing in the light of the sun, getting reduced to nothing, and yet there he is, ultimate presence. Jasmine, even Jasmine, it's been forever, friend. Man, I've missed you. Thank you for joining us. Gateway is here too. I've missed you too, beloved friend. So much love to you. I'm back. Back in a second. A sickest. The meaning crisis. Man, I've been listening to a lot of information as of late. I feel like I'm transitioning into a student. You know, I feel like I've been like that this whole time, but I was doing it kind of playfully, if that makes any sense. You know, I was like, yo, let's learn some things, and now it's like you need to be learning things. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense, you know. And it's a joke. It's an actual joke because this whole meaning crisis topic comes from listening to Lex and John Vervirake. He has a weird surname. He's a psychologist, and he basically likes to talk about the meaning crisis. You know, how we as a collective humanity at this point in our existence are facing a meaning crisis. You know, that we have had meaning crises before, and the last time we had a meaning crisis, Stoic philosophy was born. You know, people were just losing their shit, murdering one another and stuff. So we kind of, well, maybe not murdering, I'm probably murdering one another as well. You know, not enjoying life as a self. And then Stoic philosophy became a big thing in order to kind of help the population, the human population, ease back into some level of civility. And it's interesting because Stoic philosophy is making a comeback. You know, like Stoic philosophy is very applicable to what we're going through as humanity right now. And the crazy thing is, it's gonna get worse. You know, like I'm usually not the type of person to say stuff like that. No, that's some Hermes blur right there. It's not gonna get worse in the context of it's gonna be bad, but it's gonna be worse in the context of what we derive meaning from is going to become more and more elusive. You know, to me, my meaning is life. For me, to me, my meaning of life is to live it. That's a beautiful meaning of life. Savage T's, triple X. I agree completely, friend. You know, and I feel many people don't have that meaning of life. Like, there's so many friends at this point in our existence that have some sort of agenda, you know, have some sort of number, they're chasing, have some sort of understanding they're chasing, want to achieve a certain experience, want to achieve a certain level of status. And I'm curious. I'm really curious to know what's going to happen with the future we're heading into. Schmecks on full patrol. Sofa Sofa, love to you, right? Thank you. How are you doing? How are you doing, Jasmine? How are you doing, Brother Dan? Let me know, friends. Sofa Sofa, Jumpin' Jack is here too. How are you? So much love to you, friends. The Goblin is greeting one another. Friendly friend. Joy V, love to you. So nice having you here. I'm gonna walk during a break from work. It's quite lovely outside. It's not bad outside here either. It's not cold. It's not uncomfortably warm, but it is going to probably be uncomfortably warm soon enough. I was like thinking about wetting my scarf again today. Almost like I forgot that that is something that I used to do. You know, like it was this distant memory of a version of myself that used to wet my scarves because it was so hot that I needed to do that. Like, even though it feels like time is faster than it's ever been, it also feels like I experience more of it than I ever have. It's it's interesting. Meaning. We are the ones that assign meaning. That's the whole joke of today's topic. We are the ones that assign meaning. And the point that I want to get at, especially the point of it getting worse. The reason we have such a hard time with our meaning crisis is because we're doing so many. And I'm not saying you do, and I'm not saying that in you doing these things makes you any less, but we as a collective humanity have to do so many menial tasks right now, right? Like people entering data into spreadsheets, for example, you know, like literally during the Soviet Union, they wanted to give everybody a job. So some people literally were assigned into warehouses and they got given boxes of screws and then they had to count those screws, you know. So yes, you have a job. Yes, you get paid to do your job, but your job is to count individual screws, you know, or bolts or lug nuts, whatever you want to, you know, call it. And that is now an extreme example for some of the stuff that we'll have to do in this life. And it can really take away from meaning, you know, where we start to again identify with. So if you, in your worldview, feel like the only thing you're good for is counting lug nuts, you know, like you as this divine entity sent to planet Earth to bring more love into this world, and then the only thing that you can do in order to sustain yourself and your family is count individual lug nuts, you know, that can very much feel like a meaning crisis. You know, what do I mean? If I disappear, am I going to be missed? If I am no longer here, will they just replace me with someone else, replace me with a robot in order to count these lug nuts? And yes, at this point, definitely. And instead of identifying with the job, and instead of identifying with the amount we're getting paid, instead of identifying with all of the narratives that come around these, you know, jobs that we're doing or the lack of jobs that we're doing, to realize that the meaning of life never was and never will be what you do. You are the meaning of life. You are. And as soon as you realize that you are the meaning of life, and if you accept that, if you accept the meaning of life as the self, you realize that that self, that meaning of life is within everything else as well, within your family members, within the trees. And I believe at least that it allows us a sense of connectivity. We talked about this yesterday, the togetherness, you know, where as soon as people lose completely their sense of connection, the feeling that we are not separate, the feeling that I am this small, anxious agent somewhere on a planet, somewhere in the void of space, you know, flying at hundreds of thousands of kilometers a second through the void, right? Like, sure, even though that's true, granted, but that isn't the meaning of life. The meaning of life is the togetherness that we get to have with one another, the connection we get to share, and that connection is here. You, right now, are bringing meaning by being connected. You are feeling meaning by being connected. You are connecting to that meaning right now. Thank you. Thank you. What do you think your meaning is? We had Savage say that his meaning is to live. I love that, friend. Let me see. Natalie. So nice to have you here. So cool to see you again. It's very cooling down in Texas for the end of the summer. Still hot and humid. I can only imagine. I'm going to Austin, Texas in 2 weeks and hoping to meet Lex. You're gonna meet Lex Gateway? How does one do that? I didn't know you could like just meet Lex. Are you like do you have a plan to meet him or are you just going to Austin, Texas and you hope to like run into him at a coffee shop or something? That would be so cool. I said Mel's human given name and she wagged her tail despite feeling big sad. Kids went back to school today. She being my dog. Thank you so much, Natalie. That sounds freaking beautiful. So much love to do. And to your little dog too. Lex wants to interview someone I know. Of course he does. Is it the artist? Man. I'm looking forward to being able to talk to Lex one day as well. That dude, man, he's a genius. Like, I truly realized just how smart Lex is yesterday, technically. It was technically yesterday morning, you know, from the hours of like 1 a.m. until 3 a 4 a.m. But damn, that dude has a head on his shoulders. I would love to have a conversation with him. The comedian I work for. Okay, that makes sense. Man, how cool is this? Like Gateway, of course. You know, man, like now I'm giddy. Yes. Meaning crisis. This is what it means. Hmm? And I speak Russian, so I really want to talk to him. Of course. Who is Lex? Lex Friedman, I believe. Is it Lex Friedman? I think so. He's a podcaster. A very good one. Like a really good one. Like the way he asks questions, you know. I feel he really wants to hear the person talking talk. Yeah. Go and check him out, Gob. You'd love his stuff, man. If I can recommend to you his most recent podcast, dude. Lex and John Vervayake. I think it's Verveake. I think so. Something like that. Check it out, dude. Like seriously. You're gonna feel some things, man. You're gonna feel a lot. I mean, I was tripping while listening to that podcast. So I assure you, I felt probably more than there was to be felt in and of itself, I guess. But dude, the stuff that they talked about in that stream, in that podcast, mm, it gives me hope. It gives me hope for what we're doing right now, dude. Like everything they were talking about, they were almost like it was like they were talking about the meaning crisis, trying to problem solve, figure out how to better go about the meaning crisis. And as they were like suggesting possible solutions, it was like they were suggesting the solutions that we have been trying to implement in this space. And I was just, you know, getting so giddy listening to that. Gateway, you're so freaking cool, my friend. It's lovely having you a part of the space. Love these chats, makes me feel connected to so many genuine and beautiful humans. Love to you all. You are connected to us, friend. Thank you for choosing to be connected. I will blatantly smile and feel good when someone goes wrong and will label it immediately. Oh, this means everything is working in my favor. Goes wrong. I feel like I'm missing a little bit. I will blatantly smile and feel good when something goes wrong and will label it immediately. Oh, this means everything is working in my favor. Yeah, me too. You know, I think I mentioned it a little bit yesterday with the whole cold shower thing. To see any difficulty, any challenge, instead of making yourself a victim to it, to see it as an opportunity for you to become even stronger. Yeah. Oh, how's that for a meaning of life? To make love out of everything. It's easier said than done sometimes, right, Maxine? Oh goodness. It takes work. Actually takes work. And a great morning at that. Hope you're well. Love to you too, Fred. Again, we wake up and take a breath and make messes and laugh. We stumble and fumble and find our way here. I love the space, the tea party. I love you jumping. You know, I feel like one of those days where I I don't know if negative is the right word, but I was feeling I was experiencing a meaning crisis. Yeah, I guess that's one way to say it. You know, not really, but give or take. I was sitting on the grass, and I was thinking to myself, you know, why is it that we don't believe things? Why is it that we don't trust? Why is it that we believe we know better? Why is it that we refuse to listen? Why is it that we convince ourselves of meaning that does not serve us? Why is it we tell ourselves stories about one another? Why is it we're holding on to these stories? You know, I've been trying so hard to get through to my dad as of late. But the harder I try, the more separation there is, you know, and like I study spirituality, and I like legit listen to, like, let's say 4 hours, at least 4 hours of wisdom, right? Teachers around the world, you know, from different religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Muslim, you know, like I try and expose myself to as many ideas as possible, so that when I come into the space, I can be as full as possible. And it's like I it's like I get to be a scholar, you know. Like, at least that's the way that I think about it. And I wouldn't be able to be a scholar if it wasn't for my circumstances. And within those circumstances, getting to be a scholar, getting to learn things, getting to know things, getting to make decisions in my own life that have influenced me, that have allowed me more meaning in my existence, and then to want to share that, and then to be shunned. Like, my dad said something today that I was just, like, again, you know, baffled by, where he told me even blind chickens peck. Die Afrikaanse woorde was geweest, selfs blinde hoenders pik raak, which directly translates to even blind chickens can eat food, or something like that, can, you know, get themselves kernels. And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean, Dad? And he's like, it's a saying, he says to me. I'm like, okay, so in this saying, I'm the blind chicken? No, that's not what I'm saying, he says to me. I'm like, okay, so what are you saying? I'm saying that, you know, just because you say things, and some of them are right, doesn't mean the things you're saying is right. And I'm like, okay, all right, all right, you know. And I had this conversation with my mom, where I said to her, on the one side, I want to be selfish, you know, be selfish with myself, be selfish with my own personal mental space, with my own meaning, if you will, right? I want to just hold on to this gentleness, this sense of calm that I have if I'm alone. And then at the same time, that would be the biggest disservice, the biggest form of hatred that I can display towards my dad. Like, if I, in some sort of simulation, right, could run two different renderings. One rendering where I don't care what my dad says and does, and the way he lives his life and the way he treats me and my family. And the other one where I care as much as I do right now, where the way I care right now hurts me and feels like it's constantly causing tension in this relationship with my dad. And the other alternative is meaningless. You know, it's completely meaningless. It's just complete separation. And I asked my mom, Mama, wat moet ek doen? Wat moet ek doen? Rarig. Wat moet ek doen? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And she can't give me an answer either. Can you? Please? Please help! Please! I need your help! Help me! Help me! Some of you know that you have been lied to and you find it hard to trust. Some of know that we have been lied to. I get that, Jumpin. But I am relatively sure that I haven't lied to my dad once. Not a single time. Not a single time. Every single time I tell my dad something, like I enjoy staying quiet. I really do. I really do. Especially staying quiet if I don't know what's going on. I won't say jack, you know, until I hear something that I do know. Until I, get to say something that can be seen of as valuable. And then you can bet your ass I will say something. Because again, if we're all the same in my worldview, if we're all the same being, supporting one another, giving each other more information, means that the entirety of us all becomes supported, has more information. And then to be compared to the father of the lie, like legitimately, you know, tunes me. Do you know who the father of the lie is, Estian? My dad says to me. I'm like, Lucifer? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. All right. Okay, cool. Guess I'm Lucifer now. Oh, goodness. It's a joke. It really is a joke. Meaning crisis. And that it really is like a joke. I'm laughing at myself because to me, the ultimate meaning is helping people. I cannot see anything, literally anything, more significant than helping others. That's what means the most to me. And I want to help my dad so desperately. I guess he believes he can't be helped. He doesn't need the help of something, maybe. Accepting or believing or acknowledging that he needs help might not be possible for him from an egoic level, I guess. Hey, Frank, how cool to seeth thee. Love to you. Alan Watts too? Of course, dude. Alan Watts is an absolute gangster. One of my favorites. A wink is as good as a nod to a blind horse. I guess so, right? Reminds me of even a broken clock is right twice a day. Love that, Joy Beef, right? Yeah, that's basically what it is. Even blind chickens, peck kernels or something like that. I was in a restaurant a few days ago, back with a friend from Austria. The restaurant was decorated in scraps of paper with sayings and idioms on it. It was a nightmare. She kept asking what they mean. I would be that friend. Me too, Gateway. I'm exactly that friend. And Joy Beep is just like, please, can we not? Can we just not? Can we just like sit down and not do any of that? Joy Beep, thank you for being loving enough to bear with it. You can change someone outside of you unless you change yourself within first. When you truly change, the world will conform to the new you. I'm happy you believe that, Maxine. Like, I believe that about the world at large, but I'm not sure I believe that about people necessarily. Pippi, is she okay? Okay, she's just chewing on something. Because the problem, like, and this is just something that I've noticed, Maxine. You know, my dad. Pippi, are you okay? Here, let me help you. She's got a piece of stuff. It's like, stop chewing, please. Stop chewing. Stop chewing. I want to get this thing out of your mouth, Pippi. I want to help you, but you're gonna bite me. Ow, ow. Let me help you. Ow. Let me help you. 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 Let me help you, Pippi. Let me help you. There we go. There we go. She she's chewing on nutshells. She like legit goes straight for it as I pour it on the ground. Didn't learn any lessons. So, like, my dad hates me more now than he did when I was violent, Maxine. When I was like aggressive, when I would like punch my fists, you know, bloody. So, I've changed. I have. He's he's been unwilling to acknowledge that. He's been unwilling to see me. He's been unwilling to change with me. I'm trying. I'm really like it's not that easy for me, Maxine, unfortunately. I love idioms and isms that would go dog daddy at work. Try to help. Like, I just see her like just something stuck in her teeth. Shame. Your dad doesn't hate you, Mel. I'm not sure about that, Joy Vive. I'm not sure about that, friend. I've never seen someone look at me like that. Like, never. I've never, no one in my entire existence has looked at me the way that my dad looks at me. Has said the things to me that my dad says to me. You know, and I just have like these ringing truths in my head, or like these things that he said to me. You are no more than a dirty rag in comparison to God's beauty. You are not contributing. You are selfish. You are, you know, a liar. And the reason you're a liar is because you are being controlled by the father of the lie, Lucifer. You are na 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 na. Like, my dad believes, I feel more and more that I'm the Antichrist. Seriously. Like, it's like he's here to push me in a way that I am forced to become my best self just so that I can try and be accepted. I can only bring dogs to my Saturday job. My Monday, Friday is soul sucking, and it doesn't even provide me enough income to survive in the city. Man, I put myself in a fucking bad mood. Okay, all of the crazy out now. Fear arises from the thought that I am alone, separated from my creator. Yet, in reality, it is the creator perceiving the creator and creating the perception that God is separate from God. Because each particle of God holds the potential of the whole. Yeah, there is no separation. I'm fine. I'm done. I'm okay. I find myself jaded by the lies that I have exposed sometimes, but it's a constant goal to unlearn the cynicism I used for so long. I think I said that wrong. I'm also not sure about what exactly you mean. The constant goal to unlearn the cynicism I've used for so long. I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I think I still understand. You're melting, right, Jumpin? You're melting things away, friend. You're becoming more. That's family. Family will destroy you and call it love, but it isn't necessarily hate. Yeah. There's no acceptance though, Joy Vive. There's no appreciation. There's no apologizing. There's no acknowledgement of the value of what I'm saying. There's no appreciation. And I guess that doesn't have to be. Sorry for contributing. I'm halfway on my way to a bad mood too. Feel it, Gob. The meaning crisis, dude. I will squeal, squibbly, squabble out loud too at the altar. Squiddish, squabblish, squibblish. I'm happy that I got some of the energy out. Like the sun in my eyes is also triggering the shit out of me right now. Stop it! Like oh, I used to be so aggressive, and you could probably still see that I'm still very capable of aggressivity. Is that even a right word? No, I don't think it is. You know, like the masculine part of me is so angry, like enraged, like a being made of lava. And the feminine side of me is the water. And it's like I'm running out of water sometimes. Having a hard time staying in flow. I want to see Melt with straightened hair. I think it'd be funny. He would look like Matt Hardy. I've had straightened hair, I think, only once in my entire life. PK. Maybe one day we'll do it. My sister probably would be, down to do that with me. I must not fear, for fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. I can't with the sun in my eyes. I'm gonna have to get myself a little bit of a sun shield. Sick of. That's better. Now I don't have to squint anymore. Safety squints. Only I will remain. Fear be damned. Like that's, I think, unfortunately, one of the things that I think about as well. Like I'm not afraid to die. No. I kind of want to cry. I was pretending to cry, and then my body was like, "You want some cry? Maybe I want some cry. I'm just gonna do this move now. Thank you, friends. Thank you. You know what's the joke? Like we've like this is a fractal that we have been in literally since like fucking day one. We've grown in almost every other aspect, right? We've grown in like most aspects, but this dad one, yo, why does it have to be so difficult, right? Like the noise we have transcended, be it my dad shooting things or choosing to grind in the middle of my stream. Like he does nothing the whole day. And then as I sit down to stream, oh yeah, now I'm gonna it kills things. I'm like, okay, dad. That I could accept. And I had a hard time last year this time to do that. The wind noise kind of like washing over the streams. I could let that go. And I was proud of myself for being able to let that go. What else was there that we had a hard time with? Transitioning between different ways of doing things, I guess, like trying to hold on to how things are supposed to be. We got to let go of that as well, but for some reason this dad thing is like gut wrenching over and over and over again, and it's the same gut wrenching that I believe a lot of people experience in religion as well. You know, this injustice, this deep sense of disappointment with what we think is supposed to be. You know, what a dad is supposed to be. Something that I said to my dad that I believe is, you know, that we want to see God in our fathers. And for me to see anything less, it hurts me. It really hurts me. Man, I'm sorry. Feel the depth that there is to be felt. You want some cry? I maybe I'll probably like cry myself to sleep or something tonight or whatever. I love you so much, God. I love you, Shan. I love you, Joy V. Thank you, friends, for sending love to me too. Mine isn't working today. Sorry. Mine is also having a hard time jumping. Learning to be vulnerable is a strength. It is. I'm trying to be vulnerable. I'm trying to be vulnerable. I'm trying to be vulnerable with myself to feel, to find if there's any way for me to do things better. You know, because I'm trying to do things better, and it feels like I'm failing over and over and over and over again. And it's pushing me to doing nothing. Wu wei. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I should just go straight wu wei. Non-action. Okay. I feel like that is the answer. Do you know the answer? What are you babbling about? Mew, if you listen, friend, you'll know. Your dad might never get to understand what you have, or he might, but you won't know the time. It's true, Nancy. I just want my family to be happy. My mom has not been happy in 17 years. I have not heard my mom tell me she is happy in 17 years. The masculine part of myself gets very angry at stuff like that. Viscerally angry. Because it's my mom. She's the most important being in this universe to me. And then the second most important being in this universe to me, my dad, I feel isn't being the person he could be to my mom. And when I point that out to him, he calls me, you know, or he claims that I'm being convinced or misled by the father of the lie. Yeah. Gotta say many things. I've got a good news, friend. I'm starting a mentorship program with a spiritual teacher in town who will who will help teach me energy work, shamanism, and Reiki. Sounds amazing, Maxine. Blessings to you, friend. Thank you for investing in yourself, for becoming yet more. We were getting there. The brain is flawed, but the new science of epigenetics is changing the world. Oh, yes, it is. It's cool that you know that, Impossible Light. Epigenetics is going to be quite wild in our future. Imagine, dude, like I had this whole imagination of the future of food, how we might have these epigenetic or just genetic printers, you know, where we can analyze the waterfall or the water in general, soil quality, sun patterns in a certain area, enter all of that data into an artificially intelligent, you know, machine program, DNA analyzer, na 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 na, na, you know, and then assemble seeds that is perfectly adjusted to your environment, and then on top of that, you can kind of edit those things to grow more nutrients in the same amount of surface area. So, blueberries the size of apples, for example. I don't know if it's possible, but it does sound fascinating. I understand where you're coming from, Mel. When I was 10, my dad told me I was going to hell, and my mom blamed her divorce with my stepdad on me. Parents can be so cruel. Oh, yeah. And the same thing goes to you, Maxine. To ask you, do you believe you've changed? And then like there's this resounding yes coming from Maxine. And then the second question is have your parents changed in step with you? And I can hear a resounding no coming from you as well. And it's difficult. It's so difficult because I know we don't find what we want, we find what we are. And in that way, that version of me, that version of my dad as me, is what I am, what I was, what I could be. But I'm choosing not to be. But I believe he doesn't even know that he gets to choose. That's what I keep seeing. He believes he's a victim. Like the amount of times I've heard him call himself a slave, the amount of times I've heard him complain about, his life, how many times I've heard him complain about the people he has to work with, the industry. I'm done. Okay. I might skip the comments that are going to bring me back into that. He cares. He just understands you. Thank you, Jumpin. All love to you too on B Boopers. That's awesome. Always learn. You know nothing, Jon Snow. I know. Forget River. I know nothing, dude. I know less than nothing. I really learn less than nothing. Are you high on LSD? No, I'm not actually. I'm not even high on weed right now. I decided I'm not going to smoke today. I was high on LSD 2 days ago. So if you asked me 2 days ago, I would be like, yes, in fact, I am. But I wasn't during stream, so I probably wouldn't have said yes, I am. It's still a compliment, though. You think I am. Thank you, friend. Also, if you were violent in the past, you can't expect people. I mean, violent. I never hurt anybody, Nanshi. I was just aggressive, right? Like, imagine explosion, right? Like, absolute visceral chaos, and then I try to become who I am right now, and there is just no recognition of the change that has been tried to be implemented. People who possibly experience trauma from that be on the same time frame for change as you are. Like, I've never hurt anybody, fortunately, Nanshi. I've never hurt a person physically. I've only hurt myself because I know that I would only be hurting myself. And I would rather hurt myself than hurt myself as someone else. Because if I hurt someone else, I'm trying to hurt someone else because I hate myself. So I might as well hurt myself as the hate for myself than hate myself so much that I hurt others. I had this contrived logic as a teenager as well. But there's only that much we can do. And some people want to believe what they want to believe. And there's nothing you can do about that. It's very hard for me to accept that because I believe I can do anything. But it seems I can't get my dad to love me. Not the way that I believe love is supposed to be. I can't get, like, if you don't accept someone for who they are, I don't believe you love them. How could you? If I expected Pippi to walk on two legs and, conversate with me in order to love her, then the love I have for her would never be true. It is happening in divine timing. The white cobra dream has a big sign of change coming. It's already here. Keeps coming. Mojo says, Mel, think about how much spiritual growth you have experienced due to your relationship with dad. I'm thinking that, Mojo. Who knows who you would have been with a like-minded dad. I do think about that a lot, Mojo. I just I'm having a hard time. I really am having a hard time. It makes me hate myself. I don't believe anybody deserves to feel that way. Thank you. Thank you, Lola. I love you, friend. I'm very excited for you. This is a new road of a new milestone and markers. So much fun. I think it's gonna be amazing. Get good. Actually get good. Learn new things. It's gonna be an adventure. Let it out, Melty. Anger is just sadness held in too long. Anger is just sadness held in too long. Thank you for saying that. I think you're right. Love you too, Lola. I see you, friend. I honor you. Acting on the YouTube. Emotions are healthy to release. I think I've missed the previous one. White cobra, that's awesome. I sometimes get a white rabbit that visits, but usually I see dragonflies and blooming flowers when it tries to get my attention. Blooming flowers is the one for me too. Just this ceaselessly fractaling blooming, if you will. Emotions are healthy to release. We are your soundboard. You can shuffle and stumble you want. I won't judge. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I'm happy that I get to be that way. You know, my dad likes to. One of the things that my dad says the most to me is he'll tell me, "Oh yeah, you know, you go into your streams and then you pretend to be this, guru that's always like so calm and never gets angry and never, loses his no 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 no." No." But he hasn't watched a single one of my streams. And you friends know that I air my dirty laundry. I'll show you. Look at this stupid shit that I did. And this is the way I responded. And this is the way I feel about it. And now I want to do things better. Like I don't care if you think I'm one thing or another. I'm just a person. I'm just a person as we all are. We're all trying to figure out how to live well. What it is this means, right? Trying to figure out the meaning crisis after all. You don't need to get off the farm. Yeah, I think so, Joy V. The thing is just, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. I don't have the resources to do that right now. What's the saying? Familiarity breeds contempt. I don't have the resources right now, Joy V. I'm working towards it, but it's taking some time. I'm trying. I really am trying. So feeling you, Melt. Love you, Shan. Everyone needs to be called out sometimes. Me too. Please call me out, friends. Playing Goblin's Advocate. Call me out. I'm here to be called out, and I like to call myself out, fortunately. So if I don't, you call me out, please. Brother Isaac, we've missed you, friend. Thank you for joining me. It's nice to see you. We've missed you, brother friend. Ja SS is joining us as well. Beautiful people getting melty. It's nice to see you too, friend. So much love to you. Just trying to see another sunset, my friend. Thank you, jumping. I'll be sure to share a little bit of you. Indeed, reminds me of Souls video games. Praise the sun. Rambler is here as well. I've missed y'all. It's nice to have you here now, dude. Even Truth is joining us too. Love to you. Thank you, friend, for joining us. The meaning crisis. What does it mean? What does all of this mean? What do you mean? It's a difficult question to be asked. It's a difficult question to answer. It's a hard problem to solve, and yet we're all trying to solve that problem ceaselessly. You mean something, friend. No matter what, you mean something. Know that at least. You matter. You have impact. You will make a difference. You have made a difference. All you have to do is continue to. We are all one. I wish we could pick the people we are one with. But the truth, I believe, is that we are all one, even with our greatest enemy. And I agree, Rambler. Like, it's so bad for me where if I look at myself in the mirror and I look into my eyes and I keep just staring into my eyes, there is this, like, almost, how do I explain this? Superposition that I start to see that is my dad's face mapped over mine, where I can literally see my smiling dad looking back at me as myself, you know. So believe you me, Rambler, I know that there is no separation. And I guess that's the part that hurts me as much as it does, is to see this part of myself hurt itself, right? It's like me hurting myself and then me trying to stop hurting myself by stopping myself from hurting myself. And then this version of me that is hurting itself hurts me in order to continue hurting itself. And then it's like losing my mind. We can mean anything in any given moment. I find the problem of the crisis of meaning is separating meaning with purpose. Yeah, dude. Or even assigning your job, your status, your current financial situation to your meaning. Griffin, brother Joe, I've been thinking about you a lot, dude. Are you done with your little hiatus? I felt compelled to tap the stream notification today. Glad I did. Love you, Mel. Big hug from Texas. Griffin, big hugs to you too. Thank you for joining us, friend. We are not nearly as purposeful as a star, for instance. We don't have some cataclysmic effect if we stop doing what we're doing. I mean, that is debatable, Isaac. That is debatable, friend. I feel we don't realize the impact we have. And we also believe that we only have impact on this plane of existence, right? Like, think about your dreams, for example. Do you think your dreams impact something, right? If not something within the ethereal realm, definitely something within your physical realm. And yet, even though these dreams go away, right? You, in your words, uh, stop doing it, right? You stop dreaming. The dreams and the cataclysmic effects they could have had on your life will continue to have on your life. That cataclysmic effect doesn't go away when you stop dreaming or when you wake up to go into the day. Yet the power we have to create joy or pain is there. So we can have meaning in moments that we decide to. Yes, we must not worry in the dealings of the cosmic meaning, for we are a part of the whole. I hear what you're saying. My point is that no matter the scale, everything has meaning, beautifully said, at the same time as having no meaning. The paradox, after all. The cosmic giggle, dude. I feel you. Thank you, Brother Isaac. How are you? How's Jasmine? How's life been treating you too? We absolutely can cause cataclysmic events if we end. I do believe that. True fact, that's a fair statement. Meaning is relative. Yes, it is. An ant needs not worry about the habit of the fish, just as the fish cannot worry about the birds. And yet, if they go away, if the ants go away, so would the fish and the birds. The fish go away, so would the birds and the ants, etc., etc., etc. Everything is necessary. Everything is one. Oh, there is so much. Let's just hope it's fun. Pay attention to what's there and what you can influence. Trust the rest of the universe to fill its role as well. Believe. Believe in yourself as that universe, you as the expression of the universe. Living in a state of flow, inducing a state of flow. As the universe flowing, as the universe flowing, as the universe flowing. The shifting of the fading light across the vastness of our environment should signify an accomplishment that many creatures were not privileged to experience. Bless the sun that sets on my face. Jump in, so much love to you. SS says, absolutely, Jack. Every spin on the rock is a gift. Feels a little like I missed a couple of sunsets with this damn head cold I'm fighting. I'm nearly there. you're here. So much love to you, friend. I hope you get better real soon. YouTube broke? It might be fixed again. Joy Vive. Thank you for tuning in on the Reddit. Even Mariah is joining us as well. So much love to you, friend. Thank you for joining us. Been trying to tell myself better stories lately. Starting my fast today as well. Wish me luck. Good luck, friend. I see a candle for you. Candle has been lit in the mind space. Have a good time, truth. Mariah says, may I offer you a dose of conundrumy conundrums so that your conundrums have a conundrum in conundrum. So conundrumed. I feel like I'm conundruming. I already conundruming right now. I've been conundruming this whole stream, Mariah. Please have mercy on my soul. I can't conundrum even harder, can I? Everybody is like, oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, you think you can't conundrum harder? Find meaning in the fullness of your immediate reality. There is nothing else to do. That was today's message from the band. That's how we started the stream as well. This is the meaning. You. You are the meaning. Look around yourself. That's the meaning. Take a breath. That's the meaning. Taste something. That's the meaning. Click your fingers. Hear the little snap, snap, snap. That's the meaning. You derive meaning from nothing, from noise. Thanks for the inspiration to start as well, Mel. Much love. Much love to you, friend. You're the one doing it. You're the one showing up for it. We're doing good. Feeling like I need to be accountable. I have not been paying much attention, and I'm distracting myself lately. The start of the week is a fresh slate to try again, though. Every single one of it. I've also been distracting myself less. I've been studying, actually. I don't really like it. Because now I'm studying like I'm doing it for school. And I'm like, the fuck's happening? You know, nobody told me to do this. Why am I doing it? Oh, it's interesting, dude. It's interesting to see ourselves change, man. So much love to you. You so got this. Wishing you lots of luck. Jasmine started her new job today. So proud of her for earning this position. Scott is sleeping. And we have a nice rainy day. We haven't had rain in months. Send some this way too, Isaac. Love to you, friend. Every moment is always a choice. Oh, that goes a little bit into the esoteric for me as well, truth, where you can see every single moment as encoded into space-time. In other words, the fact that you're here in this moment quite literally is a choice. That you could have, as a divine being, came into this moment. And because this moment is linear, you kind of get all of the information that this moment comes along with. So even if you, within the infinity, decided that you want to have this moment right now, you would be able to come into this moment, remember your entire childhood, picture your entire future, and be here now as if you're here now, completely forgetting what you were, you know. But that is also a little bit of the woo-woo. Please drink water if you're fast. Yes, definitely. And if you can, electrolytes. Mix a little bit, like at least once a day. More spicy than Reddit today. I was about to say, good looks, that you've been bad times. Looks, that you've been bad times. Good looks, that you've been bad times. I don't know what that means, truth. I'm sorry. Bless the breeze that spreads the spores. Bless the bugs that stir our earth, and bless the earth that feeds us. Thank you, Earth. I appreciate you. I was about to say good looks that would have been bad times. I was about to say good looks that would have been bad times. I don't know what that means, truth. Good looks that would have been bad times. Good looks. If you look good, you're gonna have bad times? Is that what you're saying? I was about to say good looks. Good looks that have bad times. I'm sorry, dude. I'm trying. I'm so trying. Breathe, love yourself, and the rest will follow. Yes, it will. Some people are dedicated to misunderstanding you and manipulating what you say to fit their narrative. Yeah, that's my dad. Literally, like he's so good at it as well. He makes me feel like I'm an insane person Like the amount of capacity he has to gaslight me, and how he always tries to make me a liar, always tries to make me evil, always tries to point me in one way or another into this direction that I'm being controlled by Satan. Watching you try and perceive common sometimes is the happiest fractal life experience. I'm happy that you enjoy my suffering. Do you understand what that means? Like my brain, dude. My brain hates not understanding things, so it's brutal. It's like me dying inside, and you're just like. People can be afraid. Someone doing something new and unique that is difficult for them to understand. Yeah, that's true as well. See, that very much is true. Like, and I feel the thing with my dad is as well. My dad, like, it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. You know, my dad is a youth slash music leader at the church, and he gives sermons, and then everybody tells him, you know, what a great Christian he is, and what a wonderful person he is, and you know, he like how beautiful his relationship with God is, and then, you know, and then like he's addicted to that type of energy, and he's been addicted to that type of energy like most of his life. So for him to now accept or realize or believe that none of that was true in the first place, that it was these birds absolutely bodying each other. It's like it's like accepting that you've been making mistakes for the last 30 years of your life, right? And it's nigh impossible for people to do that sometimes. Let your love and positive outlook flow naturally, and someday you and your dad may find a better connection. How old is your father, if you don't mind me asking? He is 52 years of age. Oh man, Jasmine and I had some fun last night. She took an edible, which is more a rare occurrence. She has a low tolerance, and we played Resident Evil 7 together, scared out of our minds. I can only imagine, dude. Freaking like I'm guessing the scary part is being chased by the big dude, or is it the big chick in this one? I'm not exactly sure, but I've only seen people play it like on YouTube or something. I'm sorry, it was directed towards Wizik suggesting water. Okay, good looks. As in, thanks for the suggestion. Of course, and bad times as in wouldn't be a fun fast without any water. My bad. Thank you, Truth, for making sure I at least understand what you were trying to say. Flowing forward, my cherry. Melty, I feel like you're in a cocoon stage right now with all of the contrast you're dealing with. When this chapter is done, you're going to pop out a refined butterfly. I know it hurts. Now, friend, and you will get through this. You're way too strong to fail. Thank you. Thank you, Maxine. I appreciate you saying that. The thing is, I don't worry about failing. You know, like failure to me is just going to be my dad continuing to live the life that he lives. And I know that every single life is worth living. Even a life where you believe you're again like it's kind of beautiful. You know, my dad used to write poetry as well. And he was like, I am no more than a dirty rug or a so I don't Afrikaans gesê. Ek is niks meer as 'n vuil lap in die aangesig van God se mooiheid nie of God se wysheid nie of God se godheid nie. I am no more than a dirty cloth in comparison to God's beauty. You know, that's what he believes about himself. And I guess that's an experience worth having. To believe that about yourself and to live your life like that. But to me, it feels it. I feel, you know, pain in my heart just imagining someone believing that about themselves. The thing I don't understand about people from that perspective is that they cannot accept that God's plan is perfect for them, that the mistakes and directions are all part of the plan, exactly. Yet they feel the need to pull and guide you by a leash down the road. How about you trust in God for me as well? Beautiful point to make, actually. I think good looks, as in saying it's kind of like shorts for good looking out, like thanks for the heads up. I think so as well. Thank you, Isaac. The answer is narcissism. I should stop. That's a great point, Isaac. It's almost as if they don't have the faith in God's plan as they preach. It's because, in my opinion, I believe at least, my dad is so terrified of me not believing what he believes because it in turn shows him that it's possible not to believe in it, and that causes him anxiety because why is it his son, who has access to exponentially, literally, exponentially more information, has spent an exponential more time finding out different ways of seeing the world, right? My dad has absolutely no idea about Hindu philosophy, about Buddhism, like nothing, zilch. Because he believes if you go and find out, you are sinning. You finding out about Buddhism and seeing what they believe, that's you taking away from God, because now you don't believe enough in God to only believe in God. So, like, there are so many ways of seeing the spiritual aspect of ourselves that I have, a part of my life, tried to explore all of these parts of these existences. I've tried to teach myself from the knowledge of old. And my dad has only had one perspective where his parents told him something and he has believed that without second thought up until this day. And it's difficult to break that pattern. And maybe me, gaining as much information as I have makes him worry that if, it's possible for me to stop believing, maybe it's possible for him to stop believing. If you enjoy these streams, please consider contributing. Buy Melt a coffee or two, contribute to his PayPal, or become a Patreon. Thank you for tagging the link tree. Joy V, thank you so much. I do. I have a Patreon, friends. If you want to support me, you can. I don't expect it of you. Love you nonetheless, even just for being here. I see my father's face in the mirror as well, Mel. If I keep looking through, I see my grandfather, my great grandfather, all the way back to the beginning. It's us. It's all us, Rambler. There is truly no separation whatsoever. No separation whatsoever. And I feel the only difference is that we are willing to accept that. And our older generations aren't. For some reason, believing, accepting that they are not separate is gonna somehow take away from themselves. Oh no, we are separate. I did all of this myself. No. No, you didn't. You got fed by a parent. You got taken care of by a society. You are using a language which you didn't invent. Yeah, you're using roads which you didn't build. You don't do anything by yourself. Nothing. We're only doing things together. There is only unity. I love to throw it back at them whenever a Christian is telling me how I'm wrong and why, rather than trying to open their hearts, I tell them exactly how they're mimicking the Pharisees? Pharisees? I think so. So weird how preaching words of discouragement and fear sounds a lot like the devil, yo. Yeah, you should be scared, You are not good enough by yourself. You need a savior. Like, that is what, Lucifer in my mind would be telling me. But you're also fed by your parents. Yeah, I agree. I agree, gateway process. Absolutely. And it's this paradox at this point. Ram Dass said something very beautifully, where he mentioned, if you think you're enlightened, spend a weekend with your parents, And instead of spending a weekend I've been spending like a year. I've been like really getting into it, growing actively. Head cold remedy one, hot green tea. Spinner rock is a gift. Lemongrass works every time. Thank you, Jumpin' Jack. I was sending you cold remedies. Love is true after all, right? This concept of not being good enough comes from emotional unavailability. Yo, my dad has never been available emotionally. Like literally, I still don't think he is. You know, I try. I seriously try. I tried yesterday again, but all he's interested in is convincing me that I'm wrong. You know, like he's unwilling to admit that he has ever in his existence made a mistake. He's unwilling to admit that I know what I'm talking about, at least occasionally, right? Surely I don't know what I'm talking about all the time, but damn, dude, at least I try. At least I try. Constant not being good enough, availability, or parent regularly invalidates us. Yeah, that as well. As we persevere the attachment over preserving ourselves, be strong mouth. Thank you, Impossible Light. Very beautifully said. Emotional unavailability and being invalidated. Yeah, you're not this because of this and this. It's like imposter syndrome from the outside almost. You're saying this means that to keep the attachment, rather than thinking, wow, my parent is cold, has rage cycles, or is impatient and hostile, we will instead internalize the belief that we can't cause this and that we are not good enough. That has been it's just kind of trippy, you know, with the amount of accuracy you're talking right now. Are you a psychologist? Indeed, it's literally that. It's okay to love someone from a distance. Rather than trying to force a connection that causes pain, you only do what matters, which is loving them and wishing them well. I'm trying to, Maxine. I'm trying to, but again, and to reiterate a little bit ago, he is going to have an experience, you know, and the experience I see opening up right now is as soon as all of us, young ones, are no longer living with my parents, my mom is going to leave my dad. That's what I'm seeing. At this point in existence, I don't imagine it anywhere else. I like legitimately, I can't see it happening anywhere else. My mom is so unhappy, ceaselessly, where she tells me, you know, like this is not just I can see she's unhappy, I can feel she's unhappy. She tells me she's unhappy. And that unhappiness has been so perpetuated for so long that it has aged my mom more than she was supposed to age. You know, like she has had to work so hard, she has had to do so much. It makes me angry. It makes the masculine son in me want to correct. Like I feel it's an injustice, right? That my mom was willing to marry my dad, and as a result of that union, I was born. But then feeling like the act of me being born has created a situation where my mom experiences suffering, and how as a son feeling like I am in part responsible for being born, meaning that my mom had to be with my dad, my mom having to be with my dad and not being happy with my dad, me having this opportunity as the son to fix something, to change something so that there can be happiness for my mom, and then being unable to, no matter how hard I try, being unable to. Like I feel that's the reason I'm as angry and as dedicated as I am. If it was just my dad, I would have been like, you know what, dude? You do you. You do you, boo. But it's not just my dad. It's not just my dad. That's the big, you know, pain point in me at least. The idea of being a ragamuffin is to be a beggar at the door of the divine knowledge without Christianity. It has a beautiful philosophical approach to humility. I've never heard that actually. That is kind of beautiful. Ragamuffin? The more you know. We're all just trying to navigate this life on this planet after forgetting everything when we came here. Literally. I had to teach myself over and over to have compassion and not to be judgmental. Life's a constant trip. And we're also constantly forgetting. I think that's the thing that trips me out the most, Maxine, is that we keep forgetting. Not only did we forget when we came here, but we keep forgetting. It's like we keep losing the depth with which we understand. Yossi. How did I get this far behind already? Fed by your parents. Hello. Yes, I love that quote. And we love you. Gateway. We are but a planet of nameless, nomadic storytellers. In any given moment, shared with another person, you are not your past or the future, just a space in which we share the stories. There's a good quote about being angry at your parents and reminding yourself that these people taught you how to use a spoon, taught you everything you know. Exactly. Like that's the thing that makes me angry. Like that's the joke, I think, gateway process. Is because I do consider that, right? Like these entities that literally taught me everything, right? Taught me in a way where I got so depressed that I committed suicide. I failed, fortunately, but that is where I was driven to, with them perpetuating this Christian-based belief system, telling me, that I'm a sinner, that I'm a filthy sinner, and that I'm such a horrific sinner that the only way for me to be saved is in order to have a savior, you know. And then if I don't accept this savior, I'm going to burn eternally, eternally in hell. That is how I was raised, as a 6 year old, praying, praying as a 6 year old, like keeping my eyes open, seeing my dad smile as I'm praying as a 6 year old, feeling like, okay, now I'm doing something right. Because look, my dad is now proud of me. And then, oh, I think our power is off. We're gonna lose internet probably now. We don't have electricity. I can hear the uninterrupted power supply beeping. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Uh, I don't know how much longer it's gonna last. I love you. 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 I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing the space. Thank you for being. You matter. You matter without your job. You matter without money. You matter without a certain face, without a certain body. You matter. You mean something. That is the message for today. Know that you mean something. Know that you mean something to me. Know that you mean something to your parents. Know that you mean something to your siblings, to your coworkers, to your friends.